What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you had a great weekend. Getting into this episode of GH. So, my. The more you think this storyline is about to hit a conclusion, now we got a new twist and a new turn. And it's an interesting one. This Franco, Drew, Shiloh storyline has just taken another turn. And we have a new mystery. I think we have a couple of new mysteries. Where do we begin? Shiloh, ever so cocky, has a couple irons in the pan right now. A couple irons on the fire right now. He's just playing a game right now. He's continuing with the game. He refuses to believe that he's going to prison for life. I don't understand why everybody was so shocked today when they found out that Shiloh was denied bail. Why would you be surprised? Like, first of all, he was already out on bail for unrelated charges that he was facing. Now he got these new charges on him. His bail is automatically going to be revoked because he was in violation automatically of the bail, of the original bail. So, of course, his bail was denied. He didn't have nobody to pay it anyway. He didn't have nobody to pay. So even if he was granted, how would he have gotten out? So now he's sitting on the phone or whatever, calling somebody to snitch on Alexis, talking about he got information on Alexis. Probably that Kieffer nonsense. That stuff would not hold up in court. If they even tried to charge Alexis with that, first of all, that was almost 10 years ago. And Christina already admitted that she lied about it because she was unconscious when it happened. Even if Alexis did hit that boy on purpose, there's no proof. And she already paid the consequences for it. Community service, suspended sentence, already did it. So it's a done deal. It's a mute point at this particular time. It's mute. It's like she's not gonna face any legal, ramifications because of that. So I'm like, why does he keep harping on it? And second of all, he has no proof of anything. The pledges were all destroyed. He keeps talking about, I got it up here. That's not enough proof, though. That's hearsay. So we get a scene where an anonymous person is looking on their tablet and they're looking at old articles of Alexis. And one of the articles they clicked on was a very old one of a hit and run. My guess is it has something to do with Kieffer. That old hit and run. I wonder, could it be Kieffer's mother? The father is dead, but could it be his mom? I wonder who's plotting. Somebody gonna come after Alexis. The question is who? Because it looked like a female hand. Could have been. I wonder who's coming after her. Maybe the mother, maybe a sister they didn't know about that Kieffer had, maybe. I wonder who. It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that much. Sam was getting on my nerves today, as usual. Listen, I'm going to be very frank about this. Does Sam have a right to be upset with Julian? Yes, she does. Of course she does. He used her son as a pawn to keep himself alive. And he put her in, scout in danger when he never told anybody about his deranged sister Olivia being back. So yes, she has a right to be pissed at him. Of course she does. But what she fails to realize is she's done worse herself. I mean, come on now. Let's be honest. She hired goons to threaten a woman and her children, namely Elizabeth, and her children. It don't go no lower than that. You sat back and watched that girl's son get kidnapped and did nothing about it. You conned people out of their money. You slept with a woman's husband. Hell, you slept with your mama's husband. All of these people forgave you. You know what I mean? But yet you refuse to forgive Julian for his indiscretions. And then what was so funny to me was she told Alexis how, Kim is the reason Julian turned himself around, but he couldn't do that for Alexis. First of all, by the time he actually genuinely was trying to live a clean lifestyle. That was before Olivia came back into the picture. He actually was trying to be straight on the straight and narrow. Like, he really was. But that Olivia situation sidetracked everything. Then, and in my opinion, Kim, yeah, she's a part of the reason he turned his life around, but she's not the reason. Let's be honest. Julian was already in the process of turning his life around when Kim came into his life. You know, he already bought the bar. He owned the bar before Kim even popped up. You know, and nobody wanted nothing to do with Julian. Kim is not the sole reason he turned his life around. He actually turned his life around for his kids, his grandkids. That's why he did it. And quite frankly, I believe he also did it because he didn't want to be a part of that life anymore. You know, I don't think Julian was ever cut out for that lifestyle. Even back when the old actor played him in the 80s, he you know, that life was thrown upon him because of his father. The 80s was such a different time. Back in the day was such a different time. Back in the day, you had to do what your parents wanted you to do, and you couldn't differ and do anything else because you had the fear of getting cut off, or they were going to disown you, or whatever, you know what I mean? That's just how some mentalities were back then, you know. So that life was, you know, how it went. If you're in a mob, your majority of the time, your father, when he has male sons, he expects his male sons to grow up and be a part of the business. That's what they expect. It's not just on TV. It happens in real life mafia families too. That's what they expect. You know, like, they expect you to be a part of that lifestyle. Even if you don't really want it, they don't care. That's just how the thought process was back then. So that life was thrown on Julian. It's not that he wanted it. You know, it's like she just refuses to see that Julian genuinely turned his life around, you know, and it's a little ridiculous. I'm like, calm down. Like, you've done worse. You hang around people who've done worse. You know what I'm saying? And yet you can't cut this man no slack. Like, I'm just at a point with Julian. I understand that's his kid, but I wouldn't be running around kissing her behind. I'm sorry. Like, if I've apologized so many times, I've shown you that I've changed. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not just saying he's changed. Julian has been showing it. Minus this whole Brad nonsense, he's actually been showing it. You know, that he's a changed person. And if she still refuses to see it, that's her problem. That's her issue. I wouldn't keep sitting there bowing down to her. Forget it. You've apologized. You've tried to make amends. They don't want to accept it. Move it along. Move on. That's all you can do. That's it. It was kind of funny, though, how Sam and Jason were sitting there talking about how it could be good. It would just be good, better kept if Franco kept Drew's memories. Are you insane? No, that's good for who? That's not good. If he keeps Drew, why would you want him to walk around acting like he's Drew? Why would you want that? And y'all not even thinking about how this affects Elizabeth and her children. They don't want him to keep walking around thinking he's Drew. She married Franco Baldwin. She didn't marry Drew. She tried that, but she didn't know he was Drew at the time, though. But she did try it. But she wants her life back with her husband. So why is it okay for y'all? Why? Because it's convenient for y'all? Because you don't like Franco and all. Like, so Jason, Sam, shut your mouth. Like, shut up. As soon as they said that, I said, what are y'all smoking? Please pass it around, because it must be good. Like, shut your mouth. Why would you want him to stay as Drew? Why? For what purpose? How does it benefit you if he stays? Shut up. So anyway, moving on from that nonsense. It was actually pretty fun to see Alexis, Julian, and Olivia sitting together, acting civil, happy. You know, that was a different sight. It was interesting to find out that Olivia is the one trying to buy Charlie's. I think it's a dope idea, though, because at least, you know, when Julian, if they complete the transfer, at least when Julian decides not to move, at least he would probably either get Charlie's back or have some involvement with it. But I like the fact that Olivia wanted to buy it because, you know, Leo likes it. It's kind of nuts to know that a little child likes a bar, but but you know, he likes it. And Olivia finally gets her pizza oven that she's been whining about. Because if you remember, for the past couple years, she's been whining and complaining about putting the pizza oven in the Quartermain kitchen, and Monica and the cook and all them kept telling her no. So now that she buying Charlie, she get to finally have a pizza oven. I said, oh, go on with your pizza oven. Congratulations. Like, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I love the transformation of Olivia's character, the growth. Like, even though she's not on a lot, we've seen so much growth with her character in the last 11 years that she's been on the show. Like, when she first came on the show, she came from Bensonhurst. She worked at a car dealership. She didn't have a whole lot of money. Then, Jax offered her a position at the Metro Court as operations manager. She sold her house in Bensonhurst. She had a few, failed romances. She became the co-owner of a hotel. She got engaged to Steve. That didn't work out. She had psychic abilities for a while. Then she lost them. Her and Ned got together. Prior to that, she had a child. Her and Ned got together, got married, became a part of a, influential family. Now she's buying a bar. She's came a long way in 11 years. I'll tell you that much. Like, she's come a long way, and I'm happy about it. I just wish we would see more of Olivia and Ned, but I'm happy for the growth that they've given this character. But we all know that this little kumbaya that Alexis and Julian and Olivia has right now, it ain't gonna last once that whole Brad scandal come out and Julian's part in it. It ain't gonna, all this kumbaya, my lord, that ain't gonna last. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's not. No. They gonna want his head on a silver platter when the truth come out. I'm gonna tell you that right now. His head will be on that platter once Olivia and Alexis and everybody else, they gonna swing at him like he a pinata. I'm telling you. It's gonna be a whole hot mess. So anyway, that whole scene was just so emotional. The scene with Sonny, Olivia, Robert, and Lulu. Olivia, let me tell you something. I can totally understand Olivia's reaction because she just wants her son back, So I get her reaction and stuff like that, why she was so upset, why at first she was trying to, guilt Lulu into staying in the marriage and stuff like that. I can totally get it because Dante is her firstborn child. She raised him from a baby to a boy, to a man, all by herself, even though she chose to do it by herself, but still, she raised him by herself for so many years and he's always been a part of her life. You know what I mean? So to not have him around now and not to know when you'll see him, that gotta be hard. Like, that gotta be tough. You could see that the anguish on her face, like she just couldn't come to grips with it. So I can understand why she told Robert. She, used his connections at the WSB to get her, to see her son. But, Robert let her know, like, he was like, I'm not promising you nothing, because Robert doesn't have the clout with the WSB like he used to have. Now that he no longer works for them, he still got contacts and connections, but he ain't got that clout to where he could just pull strings and get stuff done at will. He can't do that now. So he said, he ain't making no promises. He's going to see what he can do. But I just felt bad for them. And I think Sonny took it a lot better, I feel, than Olivia took it. And like I said, I think the reason she was more off the handle and way more emotional about it was because she raised that boy. That was her firstborn, at the time her only son before Leo. And she raised him, So it's hard, not to know when he's coming back, if he's coming back, not to know what situation is, like the details of it. Like, it's just hard for her. Not to be able to talk to him, so she's just overly emotional. Sonny's upset too because he wished that, his son could come home and they could really rally around him as a family and help him. But I agree with Lulu and Robert. That's not going to help and it's not going to work. He's not in his right frame of mind. You see, he just straight up shot at Peter and stuff like that. Ain't no telling what he's volatile right now. He's been brainwashed. He's been tortured. His mind is probably all over the place right now. Now he's not in a right fit to come home. He can hurt somebody. Like, look at him at the Metro Court. He had the butter knife in his hand. Like, he had a crazy look in his eyes. Like, even Carly was scared. She had to take about 5 feet back. Like, she ain't never seen him look like that or act like that. So it's not safe for him to come home. And I know it's hard for them, but they need to realize it. But, I respect Lulu's decision. Like, she wants to stay in the marriage, but once the 20 days are up, she's not going to contest if Dante still wants to go through with the divorce. She's not contesting it. I respect it. Totally respect it. Because at the end of the day, Lulu cannot put her life on hold. And I'm glad Sonny understood it. Sonny understood and Olivia understood eventually. Like, she just cannot put her life on pause. She can't do that to herself. She can't do that to her kids. And she just wants her son to have stability. That's why she wants Sonny and Olivia to be more, even more involved in his life now. She doesn't want her son to have to feel like, oh, he got to step up to the plate, be the man of the house. She wants him to enjoy his childhood, be a child. That's your job. You know what I mean? So I totally respect Lulu's stance on it. And I agree with it 1,000%. She got to do what she got to do. It was sad, though, to see her at the end take her wedding rings off and stuff. It was sad. That was sad. Because, it hurt her to do that. But at the end of the day, you got to continue to live. Dante's going through what he's going through, and she's going to continue to support him. But you got to, your life ain't supposed to go on pause. Like, you can't put your life on hold. You can't. Because you will turn around. She was already resenting Dante. Look at her. She was drinking wine all day long, getting white girl wasted. And, her mama had to come in and take that wine away from her. It's just too much, So I'm glad that she's finally getting to that stage where she's moving on with life. That's what you have to do. Life goes on. That's what it is. Sad as it is, but it's a necessary thing. So anyway, Hayden knows she can't cook. It was so funny how Hayden tried to tell Curtis, oh, I made this breakfast from scratch. Like, she had all these little pastries and stuff like that, and they look good. I'll tell you that much. They got to stop with the food. All summer long, General Hospital has been killing me with the food. Stop it. From the wedding cakes to stop, please. Stop with the food. Like, it just looks too good. But yeah, she know good and well she ain't make none of that, and Curtis knew. He was like, oh, this your idea of breakfast. She don't know. She probably don't even know how to make scrambled eggs or an omelet, for that matter. I'm talking about the character, not the actress. The actress probably could cook, but Hayden knows she can't burn. But I love that she's there for Elizabeth and stuff like that. But my thing is, I understand that Hayden's trying to be realistic with Elizabeth about the situation with Franco, but I love how Elizabeth is not backing down from this. She knows it's going to be a challenge to reach the real Franco. She knows that. Oh, she know. And the look in her eye is a determined look. Because I seen that look from Elizabeth before. When she want a man, she gonna get a man. That's that look she gives off. Like, she gonna get what she want. You know what I'm saying? And we all know how what levels she'll stoop to get what she want. We've seen it before. Come on now, changing DNA, lying, scheming, and it worked. It backfired later, but it worked for the most part. Some parts it worked, and then it backfired. But at least she's doing this. This time it's for good. She got good reasons this time. You know what I'm saying? She's going after a man that's her man. She ain't going after a man that belongs to somebody else. You're going after a man that's for you this time. You know what I'm saying? So I respect it. I like how she's not backing down from it. Where is this baby? Like, Hayden was definitely dropping anvils today when she was telling Elizabeth and Curtis and all them, like, she never understood what it was like to care for somebody like that. And then she, learned and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you got that baby somewhere. She got that baby somewhere. She need to go ahead and tell the truth. I like the friendship that Curtis and Hayden have. They have each other's back and stuff. I just wish that she could confide in him more, about her personal stuff. But, I do like the friendship. It was cool seeing Drew and Elizabeth and Hayden and Curtis all sitting around conspiring on how to, reach the real Franco and stuff, and how to reverse this memory map and stuff. Like, they were all sitting around like they was in a meeting about it. And it was cool, to see them all try and play their position and figure out what steps to take to get the real Franco to come back. I was enjoying that. I said that was dope. So anyway, moving on from that, I felt bad for Scott. He did not want to believe nothing that they were telling him about Franco being Drew and stuff. But when he went down there and stuff, that scene between him and Franco was gold. I love seeing Scott and Franco. It was gold. Even when Franco thinks he's Drew, the conversation was still gold. Like, it was still hilarious. I know it just sucks. Like, the way he be calling Elizabeth ma'am, and now he's calling Scott Mr. Baldwin and stuff. I was like, really? And then he was like, he said, so your son's name was Franco. He said, why did you name him Franco? He said, was he like alluding to the fact that Franco might have been, pitching for the other team. It was just funny. Frank and Drew, whatever. He was like, not that I have a problem with that. That whole conversation was hilarious. But it was just, sucks to see that, because I know Scott felt some type of way, like his own son don't recognize him. His own son don't know who he is. Like, I know that had to sting. Now for the biggie. So we finally get scenes with Frank and Drew and Shiloh. Shiloh want that money that was stashed in Afghanistan. That's what he want. So we get flashbacks of Drew sitting there writing down in the notepad. And then Shiloh comes up behind him and decks him on the back of the head and punches him in the face. This is the first time I think I've seen Shiloh be physical with anybody. And when he is physical, it's a sneak attack. I said, of course, but you've been letting everybody else beat you down now. So I'm like, so you do know how to throw a punch. I was surprised. I said, okay, so you know how to throw a punch. That's nice. Why haven't you been doing that the last few months? Every time I see Shiloh, he got a new bruise on his face. I was starting to think he couldn't fight. Now we get this scene where he throwing punches and hitting people in the back of the head with guns and whatnot. I said, okay, so you know how to fight. All right. You must have lost your touch or something. Maybe you got some brain damage or something. Maybe you lost your ability to fight. Who knows? So he handcuffed him and delivered him to my boo. My baby. She's back temporarily. Hellena Cassadine. Let me tell you something. She looked fabulous today, I will say. Hellena looked amazing. You could not tell she was in her mid to late 80s. You would not be able to tell. Ain't she like 86? She looked good. Like, she looked real good for her age. And still a boss. Like the way she was talking to Shiloh. And the way she had her bodyguards and stuff, she got them well trained. All she had to do was say come, and they came running from around the corner. I said, see, that's what I like. Bosses who just command obedience. I like that. I said, go ahead, Hellena. I said, you got these grown, big, burly men scared of you, and you 86. All she said was come, and they came running. I said, all right. I said, okay. I like that. That's how you be a boss. Like, that's how you show people, you know what I'm saying? That's how you delegate authority. You just let them know. Well, you got to do is say one word and they running. I like that. That's why I always love Hellena. I say, ain't that something these big jacked up dudes are scared of a little old lady? But see, she might look like a little old lady, but trust me, you do not want to mess with Hellena, because I seen what she did to one of her bodyguards. Remember that time Robin and Jason escaped and Jason ran the Sunny house? Well, at the time it was Drew, but they thought he was Jason. And Robin went to Anna's hotel room and stuff like that to find Anna, but she wasn't there. And Hellena, her guard, showed up. The way she and the guards told her that they lost Jason, she picked up that gun. She told him, she said, give me your gun. He knew what was about to happen. He handed her that gun. She pointed it to him without hesitation and said, bow. Didn't even flinch. Just shot him dead in the chest. Ain't even flinch. And told the other guard, the only reason I'm not killing you is because I need you to clean up the mess. That's a boss right there. I don't care what nobody's. That is savage to a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Can't nobody do it better than Hellena. I'm sorry, but they don't compare. They don't compare. Like, who? You see the obedience that she commands from her staff? One word. Come. Chop, chop, and here they come. I love it. Only Hellena could do it. I love it. See, because with other people I've seen that try to be a boss on these shows, they usually get back talk from their staff. See, Hellena don't play that. Her staff know better than to back talk her. They know better. They don't even utter one word that she don't tell them to speak. When you say speak, they speak. I love that. That's some boss stuff right there. I love it. Y'all better get into the essence that is Hellena. Learn how to be a boss. See, I wish she would teach a boss class. I wish she would teach a seminar on it. I would be front row center. I swear to God. That was some amazing stuff today. Come. I love that. And they just came running. I like stuff like that. That shows how much of a boss she is. And the way she handled Shiloh, she let him know. Because this fool took the gun and knocked Drew out with the gun, and Hellena was pissed. She was like, you better make sure he not dead either. She said he better not be dead. Otherwise, you better ain't gonna be no place for you to hide. She was not playing. So Shiloh wants to bargain with Drew, Frank and Drew. So basically, he told Franco, that he would tell him who Hellena Cassadine was working with in exchange for the money. And Frank and Drew was like, no, it's a hard pass, but no. Then we see a flashback of Shiloh leaving, but he stayed to see who Hellena was talking to. And somebody walked up with some black shoes on. I said, who was that? Now we got another mystery. Who is she working with? Because it wasn't just Faison. So who else is the person in Port Charles right now? Who is she working with? So see, this is what I'm talking about. It's so many twists and turns in this story. Like every time we think we know everything, something new pops up. I said, damn. I said, what is going on? Like, who is she working with? I'm curious. Now we got somebody stalking Alexis and looking up old articles. Now we got a new mystery partner working with Hellena. Who are all these people? Like, who is working with these people? Like, who is Shiloh calling, snitching on? Like, who? I like this. I like when I watch an episode of a show and we get more questions than we get answers. I love it. That means that they're doing their job. I like it. They still got a ways to go with certain storylines, but hey, I'm feeling this. I don't know about y'all. Y'all maybe not, and that's fine. But for me, I like this. I like a good storyline where there's some mystery going on to it, and we don't know who working with who. I love it. This is the type of stuff I get intrigued by. Now, all they got to do now is find Dr. Maddox, Andre, and see if he can reverse this nonsense somehow, some way. But this was a pretty interesting Monday episode. I actually enjoyed this. We got some new questions now. We got some answers, but we got some more questions out of this situation, and I'm looking forward to it. But hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I will see y'all all later. Have a great day. Peace.